One time, Shaq was telling a story. I think it was on Angel Reese's podcast, but he was telling them that he actually signed up for a dating app one time because she said, "What's the weirdest thing you ever did or whatever?" And he said he was on a dating app. And he had messaged somebody, and it was really him, and they didn't believe him. He was like, "No, it's really me." And they said, "This ain't Shaq because Shaq would never be on a dating app." He said, "I had to check myself because why am I on a dating app?" So I had
No,
to
for
start putting
real.
myself in that category. I'm like, I have been on some before, but at this
Mm-hmm.
point, love
We've
yourself.
all been there, but it's like,
Hey, welcome back to the I Might Get Canceled podcast and show. So, yay! So, today I'm on here with my actual homegirl in real life, Kourtney Burney. If I had a little sound effect, I'll do round of applause. But yes, there she is. I'm gonna give her a second to kind of talk and introduce herself real quick before I just start talking. So,
an intro. I did not practice this. So my name is Kourtney Burney. I am originally from the Bay Area, graduated from Grambling State University. Currently a digital marketing manager for the Houston Texans.
okay, love to hear that. How is life treating you right now? How are you?
Good. I have been super busy for the past 3 years. So it's still busy, but like this is the first time where I kind of feel like more settled and just like um able to balance more and just happy. So life is good.
When you say, this is it's been life has been busy for you for 3 years, kind of elaborate on that. I want to hear that.
Yeah, so I was living in Houston and I kind of just up and moved. Um didn't know exactly like I've always had wanted to work in sports, had the path for that, but I was working remote at the time and so I was like I kind of just want something new, why not? So I moved to Houston with my remote job and then I just was like, it wasn't the city of Houston, but it was just like, I don't know if I'll get like the right opportunity for what I want to do in this city. Like, I felt like I tried, kind of like exhausted all my options. I felt like this might not be the place for me. And so, I had a great community here, everything, and just like, got tired of like my efforts in the work life not reflecting that. So got an opportunity with the Phoenix Suns, so I was there for 2 years. So again, like having to hurry up and leave Houston, move to Phoenix, and then was in Phoenix for 2 years, and then got the opportunity with the Texans. So had to hurry back and move to Houston. So a lot of back and forth between
Yeah.
those 2 years and lots of moving. I have lived in 5 apartments in 4 years. Um, so fun stuff, but definitely exhausting. So this is kind of like my first time where I'm not moving. I'm not looking for another job. I'm not looking for anything. I'm just letting life come and happen. So it's
Okay.
fun.
So you just said a lot right there. You were in Houston, you went to Phoenix. Now mind you, I'm her real friend in real life, y'all. We had a big old party for her. It was like Suns themed. So imagine that in your head. We threw a big old party. We were looking at this like our girl just got a big opportunity. We gotta send her away the right way. So it was a good time for sure. But it's like at that time in your life, that was a really big deal. And so since you had to go, like you had to adjust from moving to Phoenix, and that experience was what it was, and then moving back to Houston. But like, what was the culture like in Phoenix? Did you enjoy your time out there? Like, what was work like out there? Because I know the hustle and bustle of the sports world. We both know that moves fast. So, what was that like?
Yeah, Phoenix. I, Sometimes it's hard for me to talk about it because I don't want to steer people away from having to do something that they might not do, or having to be in an environment that they might, you know, it might not be the most fun. So I would just kind of take Phoenix. I try to label it as I had to go there to get here.
Yeah.
So that's the best way I can kind of put it. Um, what is the culture like in Phoenix? It's not much culture for people that look like us.
Right.
Yeah, Phoenix, I personally didn't love it there. I didn't feel like I thrived there. I feel like me personally, I progressed in my career, but I regressed in who I was.
Mm.
Um, and so again, like that was something. I took the job when I was 25, and I felt like, that was something. I'm 25, I don't have any kids. Let me try it. Would I do that at 27? No.
Right.
But again, I think that it was needed. I think that every day I wake up grateful and thankful because I had that experience. Work was a lot. I worked across the different brands. So on the WNBA side, on the basketball side, and the arena.
Yeah.
So not really an off season, just really like you said, the hustle and bustle of it all. So definitely interesting. Would I move back? No, I don't think you could pay me to. Um, but that is sometimes what you have to do in your career, is go somewhere that maybe you never thought that you wanted to go or had to go.
Mhm.
Um, so I just encourage people, like, if they're looking to get into a certain career and an opportunity does come to them, again, you have to, take it. That has to be kind of like the sacrifice. But
Yeah.
again, it's not easy. It wasn't easy.
Yeah. I feel like we all go through a point. It's like right after college graduation, somewhere in between there, where you kind of just take a job because you really need one, or you really want one, so you jump on it. You really don't have no kids. You fresh out of college. You ain't got no money either, because like when you start at the bottom, they don't pay you nothing for real. But I feel like I did a similar thing when I went to New Orleans, and it didn't end that well. But hey, neither here nor there, because I feel like I
Yeah.
needed that experience too. So
Yeah, I think that you just always need experience, like, like good, bad, the other. Um, I see it in my life. Like, I don't think anyone understands how thankful that I am for like where I am now. And
yeah,
just even the way in which like I learned so much from that experience. So when I went into this experience, I, understood my worth, and
hmm,
really made sure that I was going into another place where I wasn't going to feel how I was feeling. And I
right,
really, negotiated and talked about, how I was feeling at my previous place, and vowed to myself as well to not ever feel like that again in the workplace. So again, you don't know until you know. But I'm super thankful, and I know how to ask the questions and to advocate myself and for others because of, that experience. So,
that's crazy. Because I feel like I'm finally, like, maybe finally prepared for whatever God has for me. Because I look back on all the other positions I had, and I'm like, this was a great opportunity for me. However, I didn't I didn't take care of this opportunity the way that I could have. But hey,
yeah.
if I knew now, or if I knew then what I know now, things would have for sure been different. But
Yeah.
let's talk about Houston, okay?
Okay. Let's talk
What's
about
the vibes like with the Houston Texans, especially just in the last year or so? Things have been really good. I feel like every time you go to a team, they start having big things happening over there.
it's crazy. Everyone says that, and I'm just like,
Yes, it's like you bring the good luck to the team.
hey, I'm gonna take it. I don't know if that's what it is, but I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
Um, The vibe at the Texans, I think it's promising. Like it is such like a great time to be a part of the organization. It's such a young organization, which I feel like a lot of people don't know. Like
Yeah.
we were born way before the Texans were a team. So it was founded in 2002. So I just think it's super cool. I always describe the vibe. I tell people all the time, like, I just love having such a God fearing quarterback and head coach. Like, I've instilled some of their practices into my daily life. Like, win or loss, win or lose, anything of the nature, no matter what's going on, the first thing that comes out of their mouth is like, I just want to give God the glory. Like,
Right.
and I just think that's powerful. I think sometimes we forget that, and just like at the end of the day, like we are doing something that we love
Mm.
on like a high stage. Like even though I'm in the office, like still being able to contribute to that. And I just think that's like super important and just something that like I've loved and like I really have like implemented in my life. So, you know, good day or bad day, like I'm still just like, wow, like this is cool. Like I'm just thankful for it. And that's something I never really practiced before, but I think that is a testament to the vibes at the Texans. It's just very like, everybody's happy to be here, thankful to be here. You learn through your mistakes that humility is not like, seen as a bad thing. At the end of the day, like, we learn, we grow, and yeah, I just think it's like a good and promising time to be a Texan. I think that is just so amazing the way in which the organization just treats us. So very
I
happy.
love it. I love it. I'm glad that you're getting this experience right now because I feel like you deserved it. That's
Thank
my
you.
personal, spill. You deserved it. I watched you grind, all the way when you were at Grambling and I was at Tuskegee still, and we were both just going hard. We were really deep into our aspirations at the time. But yeah, we used to be going to NABJ together, and
Yes.
so now it's like, how do you feel as a woman, but especially a black one, being in your career field? See, I feel like this is the stuff that people need to hear because it's really not
Yeah.
sweet. I want your opinion on that. So,
Yeah. I mean, definitely it is an honor, right? Like, but it's also just like, what do you do with that honor? Are you like afraid to speak up about it? Are you afraid to acknowledge that you're different than, a lot of people? Or are you, gonna stay quiet about things? So I think for me, I'm, very vocal that I am a black woman. I don't go into anywhere not being me. So I'm not like saying like, oh, I understand what you mean. Like, no, I don't. Like, we have a very different experience. But I'm also, super. How do I describe it? Um, I always want to make sure that, young black women that I see, or even other black people that I see, that they know that, they should be comfortable around me. And then also just like younger black women, I think that, a lot of times what they tell me is like, they just love how comfortable I am with myself. And
yeah.
that like provides a space for where that they can feel more comfortable. So I just think that like, one thing about me is like I literally wore this hoodie to work today. Like that's just who I am.
Learning
Like
water.
I will wear sweats. Like if I want to, like whatever I want to do, like I'm not going to be like, "Oh, I'm scared to do this," like in the workplace, even though it is, a very serious job and stuff like that. I don't think that I could be me at work if I wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
just if I wasn't comfortable, then I don't think that, I would produce the same results that I'm producing. So I just definitely think, one, understanding that you're different, and understanding like I've had conversations with my boss like, hey, I feel like this person was trying to pay me out to be aggressive when that's not the case, like having
Yeah.
to kind of inform. And my boss is like the greatest. Like he truly understands that I'm in a unique position, and he supports me. He's, an ally. did not have that,
Yeah.
in past life. So
Mm.
I try to be like I have direct reports, so I try to be conscious of, and they're both minorities. So I try to be conscious of, what they're going through too, and the way in which people might, try to perceive or belittle and give them a voice, give them confidence and stuff like that. I think confidence is literally everything, right? Like you
Yeah.
have to be comfortable. And so that's what people are in the workplace. They're either comfortable or uncomfortable. And as a black woman, you have to kind of just make yourself comfortable and understand that you have a seat at the table, no matter what people want it to look like. So, um, again, I think it's an honor. I don't think that I am at all a DEI hire. I think that I truly, deserve to be there and that my
Yeah.
ideas and stuff should be heard. I think that, again, you know, you see, I get to see, other black people daily around the office, which is also like super helpful. Just like
Of
glad
course.
that, things continue to grow and stuff like that. But I'm an HBCU grad. There's not a lot of us in this space, but I want to continue to make room for people. It's not as easy as like, I just want to hire everybody because that's, not a realistic thing. But, the more I can talk to people, the more I can, just spread the word and just like get people into those spaces. I personally never had a mentor. So like even like navigating through the sports industry in the world and stuff like that, I didn't have a mentor. Um,
I
I
feel
didn't
like
have
it's hard to
some.
get mentors. Like us being, there weren't many young black girls or black women trying to do, what we were trying to do. But because there weren't many, and we also had few black women to look up to in this field, I feel like the opportunities to be mentees were like scarce. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
how it was at NABJ. We would be fighting for a chance to just speak to Jamel Hill or
Hmm.
stuff like that. And so I get where you're coming from on that spectrum. It's
Yeah.
hard. That's why I feel like even lately in my life, I don't want to say it's been a struggle, but it's not as easy as it was when I was a young tenderoni, fresh out. You know?
Yeah. I agree. Like sometimes people look at you as like you're older and so, you might
Yeah.
not, but it's just like everybody's looking for that opportunity. Like I said, I got my first opportunity in sports post like working in college athletics at 25.
Right.
So, my intern right now, if you watch this, I'm sorry for saying your age, but she's 26. And, like I just think it's again, it's not sometimes it really takes that long because the sports industry is small too. So these are very like, it's growing, but it's, growing at the rate and pace in which they're comfortable, but it's small. So a lot of
Yeah.
people sit in their positions for years. Like I
And
might
they
sit in
don't
my
come out as
position.
often.
Yeah, I might sit in my position for 5 years. That doesn't mean like that person shouldn't have gotten a job, but it just like, and then how I was able to move doesn't mean everybody is able to or wants to. And
Yeah.
so I still think that people should be awarded opportunities no matter the age and stuff like that. But I also get like why it is hard to be a mentor in sports. Like for me personally, this season, it was very hard for me to have outreach at all to anyone. Like it was a lot. Like we went through our full rebrand straight into this season, and so it's a time commitment, and I didn't want to make the time commitment unless like that was truly something I was able to do. But yeah, I'm working on it. It's something that I want to do, especially this off season, is to connect with more people and stuff like that. But I'm a person again, I just want genuine connections. Like I don't want everything to feel like this and that because I can't promise you the world. But like, I love having conversations. And again, like I think that if there was any legacy for me to give people is just to give black girls confidence,
Mm,
to be them and to do them and take something and run with it rather than
mm.
me hold their hand. So
And that's so important too. Like I like how you said giving them confidence because I feel like just being you, showing up as yourself, giving them hope, giving them something to really hope for. Because like me working with middle school age girls, they definitely don't see this all the time. They don't see this on the regular. And so I want to kind of show them a different angle, a different pathway. Like I do media. I want to show them how to do media. I can do public speaking. I started a podcast, so it's like I feel like I want younger black girls to find their way in, just like everybody else is trying to find their way in. Like, it's yours, but we have to show them how to do that. Like, we're finally starting to get recognition and get out there for real. And so I don't know. I'm proud of us, and I'm especially proud of you for that. So you're
Thank
part
you.
of that number. But yeah, how do you feel like the grind was starting out at an HBCU as opposed to if you had gone to like LSU?
Yeah, so I think that I'm grateful that I went to Grambling because I don't think that I maybe could have got those opportunities had I went to a bigger school, right? So I think that, I was super into school, knew that I wanted to be a journalist and stuff like that. And since I went to a smaller school, I had those professors that were like, she's a little shy and timid, let me pull it out of her, right? So I think having that like smaller setting, especially like knowing what kind of like my personality was back then, having, those professors see something in me really helped propel me that I don't know if that would have happened at a bigger school. And then, I used to travel with the football team and, do basketball, all of that stuff. And those are experiences that I literally like can still talk about today. Like literally I
Same.
would go to the SWAC championship all the time, and the SWAC championship was in Houston at NRG. So just really full circle moments and stuff like that. But that position, it wasn't like a position. Like when I was in school, it wasn't like, oh, we have this media associate and this is what you were going to do. Like it was kind of built for me. I
Yeah.
just walked into the head of communications. I don't know the exact title, but he was over like all of PR communications for the university, and I like got the contact, walked into the office, and I was like, I want to be a journalist.
Right.
And
You gotta go for it.
yeah, you just had to go for it. So I didn't really have any formal training. I was running track, so I couldn't like. I was very limited to a lot of stuff, and I was just like, and he gave me an opportunity. He was like, go to this career fair and like write a story and come back. Went to the
Mhm.
career fair, wrote the story and come back, and he was just like, okay. And
Yeah.
then started writing, was doing our social media for the whole university, learned graphic designing, like
Mm.
literally just like everything that I did, it wasn't that there was this blueprint or that, anyone did it. I just like learned it. Like when we
Yeah.
started the magazine, like I had no experience. Like I just literally was watching YouTube videos to understand Photoshop and to understand InDesign and layouts and page design and stuff like that. So those were just passion projects that I just like did and just, tried to, make the most out of the opportunity. But I think that that's what my HBC brought me was the chance to. I know people say, well, this program isn't set up like this program wasn't set up like this. It was just a chance for me to go in and just like make it my own. If there had been rules, I don't think I would be who I was today. So those institutions have things that are like already set up, whereas for me, like even when I did my internships, I remember I just sent out, I don't even think I formally applied to any internship. Like I just like was like, hey, like I,
Yeah.
I want to do it. Like, and people just gave me, the chance to do so. So
Literally.
again, I don't think that would have been, you know, the way had I went to another school. So somehow hold near and dear to my heart. It is a grind, and it is like, but you have to be willing to. You don't have to be the loudest in the room because I'm not at all by any means.
Right.
Um, you just have to be like the sharpest. Like you just have to understand what's going on and how you can contribute.
Right.
One of my professors, I always tell everybody that everybody's always like, what's the greatest advice that you've gotten like throughout like schooling and stuff like that, career, everything. I had a professor tell me like, if you can write, you can do anything. And that's
Exactly.
something that I always tell people, like, learn how to write, whether it is writing an email to someone, whether it's writing an article, whatever the case may be, you need to be able to communicate to people to get a
Yeah.
point across. And so whatever in your life, I'm a good speaker, I'm a good, like, I can like have a good conversation because I know how to write. So,
Yeah. It's a plus. I feel like those girls that know how to talk, nobody in this world can touch us. But hey, that's just me.
amen.
I'm extra grateful for like Tuskegee as well. We both went the HBCU route, but I like everything you said. If I could emphasize that times 1,000, I would, because I don't know. People can make jokes about Tuskegee or jokes about it being a small school. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
not one or anything. However, Tuskegee put me in rooms and gave me opportunities that I would have never had otherwise.
Yeah.
Not to say like I don't have faith in myself, but I'm just saying that's what it did for me.
Yeah.
So literally, I took one skill that I learned, start, stop, filming plays for football, and I turned that into me like literally learning how to create content and film, and yeah, it's brought me opportunities that I'm forever grateful for. So I love that. If you could have gone to any other school, would you have gone? Especially
Um,
if you ran track. You ran track too, so
yeah.
it's different.
I only say I don't know just because I feel like Grambling chose me.
Mm.
I didn't apply to any colleges. I know that's so bad to say. I did not apply to one college. Like, and like I had to submit an application to Grambling, but like that was a formality. Like
Yeah,
I did not apply to any colleges. So
you didn't even want to go at first.
no. Wait, no, I went yeah, I didn't really want to go. Cuz I looked it up and I was like, I'm from California, so I'm like, what the heck is this?
Right.
So it truly chose me, so it's really hard to be like, "Oh, I would have did this," because maybe if I had a story where I was just like, "Well, I applied to this college, but I
Mm.
chose this one." No, I didn't apply to any college. So I know that's so bad.
No,
No one should do
actually,
that.
you
My kids will not do that. We will at least apply to some.
like
But
three.
yeah,
You have a top three. Okay.
yeah, that is really bad. Don't do that. But that's honestly my story.
Hey, everybody's story is different, so it's cool. It's cool. Are you comfortable with what exactly you're doing now? And if not, tell us about a future plan. Like, how do you want to move up in your career? But I can
Yeah.
understand if you want to, keep something silent. So,
Yeah, no, I'm comfortable with what I'm doing. I think it's cool. I think I'm naturally good at it. Like I work in the marketing space and I learned that skill, like the digital marketing space, and I learned that skill in like 2021. So
yeah.
it's not like I went to college for it or that was like my career path as soon as I got out of college. I graduated in December of 2018. So it wasn't until like almost 2 years after me graduating, me kind of like finding that skill set. So I think it's still a lot more to like grow into. I think that, with my position at the Texans, it's the first of its kind ever. So I'm the first person to hold that position. And so with that, it is like super cool to like make my own path and figure out like what I want to do. So I think I'm can continue to grow in the organization and just like as myself. Again, I never say like never to a lot of things, but I want to stay at the organization. I think that, it is something that I want to stay at for a while. This will be my last sports job. So I don't know if that means 2 years or 15 years, 20 years. I don't know what that looks like.
We
But
gonna see.
yeah, I think when you find a good place, like, and it's in an area that you want to stay in, like, you want to stay in it, if some, maybe like agency work or like freelancing and stuff like that. But I think that it's a great organization. So,
Yeah,
um, yeah.
I love it.
So I guess that is true comfort if you're like, I might stay
Yeah,
there for a long
you
time.
finally at that point though, so that's understandable.
Yeah.
So, tell me the real spiel on social media. Do you feel like social media helped or hurt you with moving up in your career?
I don't use it like that.
You don't use it like that, so it's not
I'm like
necessary.
horrible at that. I feel like I'm a close
Yeah.
friends girly. I don't. I don't think it's affected me at
Don't
all.
do too much posting.
Yeah, I don't do too much. I think when I was younger, I was really on that like that, but nowadays, like, no, I'll be in like the close friends. I think last year, like 2024, was probably the most that I posted in a very long time. I was just happy.
Yeah,
Um, but I think I'm a very private person, and I kind of get overwhelmed when people feel like they have access to me.
girl.
And so
Same.
I think like posting feels like a way in which people
Exposing
can
yourself.
reply. Yeah, yeah. And that's just not really my personality. Like, if I want to talk to you, I'm gonna call you, or you have my number so you can text me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really love social media like that. So, I don't think it's really harmed me, but I have seen it harm others, and I have seen people want me to put them on, and I'm just like, this shit looks crazy. Like, you know, do
Like,
people look at social media like in the industry and stuff like that? Absolutely,
I'm about to say, I'm sure
absolutely.
they do. Like, literally,
Absolutely. I think like, that's just people could be like, "Oh, this is just social media." I think as you get older, it's just like,
you don't
it's
care
just
for it as much.
it's about discernment, and especially in a place where you have a lot of high like confidential information and you're exposed to a lot. I think that, you should stay brief. I see a lot of people kind of like, post stuff. So, I
Yeah.
mean, it's very much like kind of a scary thing. Like, I'm gonna ask Deja to send me, this recording and her edits before we post it, just so I could, make sure from my boss, like, it's okay. Like, that's just, I mean, like, I hate to be like that, and I think that's why I don't like to post on social media a lot, because it's just like I'm just so like nervous sometimes about like certain things and the way in which it looks, because it can
Yeah.
be perceived as anything. So, um,
I
I
get
do just, huh?
I get really anxious when
Me
it's
too.
like you
Yeah.
never know what's taking it too far with posting. You never know what people are gonna perceive in a bad way. We've seen what can happen when words get taken out of context.
Hmm.
The less the better. That's all.
Yeah. I literally had my old boss block me on social media though. So
Really?
yeah.
I don't know if that's something you want to share or not, but dang, that's kind of,
Yeah.
crazy.
I think I just kind of like. First of all, I don't think you should have coworkers on your social media. Like, so let me
Period.
just change that conversation to that. I
Yeah.
do have one coworker on my social media. She kind of like, I'm not gonna say she tricked me, but like she took a picture like boop and was like, "Oh, like let me tag you," and I was like, "She
So
cool
you
though."
said
I just gave it to her. I'm like, "Fuck it." But I think
she
everybody else
doing too much.
knows
She going on the restrict. Okay.
she
Hide
cool though.
stories
I don't
from.
mind it. Yeah, she cool. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Everybody else though, I think they kind of know like Courtney ain't going for that, so
Same.
I don't have
Same.
no one. I think only like 3 people have my personal number.
Mhm.
So I just think keep that separate. You don't need to. I'm not gonna call it a mistake, but that's something that I did at my last job. Had everyone, had my boss, had her boss, like just I had way too many people on social media, but I also didn't really in Phoenix didn't have like friends outside of work, so it was just kind of just like that was me, I guess, trying to be cool with people, make friends, but I don't recommend it. Um, Even if you think that's your friend, wait it out a while, wait it out like maybe like a year or something like that.
Mhm.
I personally don't think you need to have your coworkers on social media. I don't.
I feel like the older you get, the policy should be I come here to just make my money and go about my business because that's the quickest way to get dragged into some drama, work drama. I don't
Mhm.
like work drama because we all
Yeah.
get paid to be here. Why are we having drama?
Yeah.
I'm not here willingly, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, give me some truths about LinkedIn.
Okay.
Truths about LinkedIn. I hope that doesn't sound too like confusing.
Yeah. I would just say like one thing that is like courtesy to me, and I've had to tell people this, like they'll type me a whole story and it's overwhelming. It's like, let's just, you know, say hey first,
Yeah.
with a little context, but we don't have to, say the whole
Do
story.
yes.
Yeah. And I think it's also understanding too. A lot of people hit me up during the season, and it's just like, during the season, like it's hard for me to get back to you on stuff. So like some people I would tell, like, I'll hit you up like when the season ends or whatever. Like hit me up like, after the season and stuff. So I think it's just like being a little aware of stuff like that. Is like, I know you're busy. I know you might not get back. So it's also like you don't have to do it 3 times. I personally, I'm not. You good?
Hmm. I'm
Oh.
gonna cut that out because somebody started calling me.
Um, I'm not on LinkedIn a ton, and mine is not the most updated. Just because I'm not looking for a job right now, and I'm not really hiring for anything. So I
Yeah.
just think that like I check it when I can. Um, but my advice would be to people like reach out to people, give your elevator pitch, but it doesn't have to be a whole story.
Right.
Um, and
It's
then I would
actually
just,
supposed to be a couple seconds, right? The elevator speech. They say don't overwhelm people and be long winded. Like, oh my God, yeah, and I just really want this.
yeah. I think that also like peep the scene. Like someone's not owed to reply to you or to like, oh, I want to hear about like your job and stuff. Like I'm not super comfortable with that with everybody.
Yeah.
So again, it's just like, okay, what do you want to hear about my job for? Um, I don't know. It's just like give me context without kind of like being intrusive. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm about to tell you about
Like
my job, and then
when we
what?
used to like reach out to people, like when we would go to these conferences and meet all these like black women, and they would give you a business card. Did you used to reach out to them and be like, "Do you have just a second to talk?" Like, how were you when you were talking to the people who are now you in those shoes?
No.
Like, would you consider that like shooting your shot, being ambitious? Like,
I think you
you,
should. I think that wasn't me.
mhm, yeah,
I didn't really do that. I did it a couple times. Didn't really love like the response of it, so kind of just like stopped making that my approach.
mhm,
Um, but I do definitely think again like it works on some people, it doesn't work on others. I did meet someone at NABJ that was from my hometown that went to Grambling, right? So
mhm,
those connections right there propelled us to have a really good relationship. So I can still hit her up. Like, I guess she's kind of like a mentor to me, but she's not in the sports industry.
mhm.
But I just think that it's important when you're trying to select mentorship, select these connections and stuff. It is for someone that you can have a like common theme with. I think that will
Yeah.
get you so much further than just like pulling a random card out a hat and being like, I'm gonna connect with you. So again, I just think that like I think that stuff like that is so awkward, to be completely
It
honest.
is.
Like reaching out to people, networking, and all of that stuff, it's so awkward. And I think
It's
it's
awkward
easier.
now. I don't feel like it was awkward when I was young, because I just used to not care. But now it is awkward. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
like bothering people. Like,
yeah. So I guess my biggest advice would be like find somebody that you have common themes and bonds with. I think that will carry it over a lot more, and you kind of care about that person a little more. Like to be honest,
yeah.
you're like, we went to the same school, we're from the same place, we
Mm.
have the same major. Like that's cool, right? So that's an easy way to kind of like have a conversation. Is that going to be like that with everyone? No, but like you just have to find those common themes without it being like weird and stalkerish. Like, oh, we went to the same elementary school. Like, how do you know
Yeah.
that? So I just think that find those key themes and like be helpful and stuff like that, because you just don't want to seem like, I just think the best way to put it is you just don't want to be overwhelming to that person.
Or seem desperate.
I
That's how.
mean, desperate, it's just like, bro, we get it. Like, if anyone can say, like me, I've been in the industry for years now, I can act like that I never understood the climb that it took to get there, but like, you get it. Like, just because it wasn't my path, that like I was able to reach out to somebody to get to where I was, doesn't mean that it shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? So I just think, again, use discernment. Like,
Yeah. It's
use
all
ways, ask somebody, it not like, there's, you can look to see who's a mutual connection and all of that stuff, but the way in which you will get to have a communication and to have like a mentorship with somebody is normally a common theme. So
yeah. And I don't know, I kind of feel like I just wanted to share this because there's levels to being like ambitious and there's ways you go about it. Like Courtney said, I feel like not being annoying is key. Because, like, okay, with the internship that I got with the NFL, I actually wasn't qualified for that technically because they were looking for people who were still students, and I knew that I had just graduated or I was just completing college. And I don't know, I kind of told myself, well, I technically don't qualify. Like, this is not for me. I'm not going to apply. But the lady who sent it to me was like, girl, apply anyway. So I'm like, all right, all right. I applied anyway. And I actually got denied. But when I received that denial and the letter had the lady's name on it who was over the program, I emailed that lady personally. And I was like, in a respectful way, I just wanted to know why I got denied and what can I do to like improve myself so that next time I could get the opportunity. And apparently that just kind of tugged at her heartstrings. I'll never forget Kathleen. But yeah, I ended up getting the opportunity just because I reached out to find out why I didn't get it. So
yeah,
sometimes you really do gotta like chase
you
some.
do, you do. And I think I'm like explaining it wrong because I just get a hit up so much, but
Yeah.
um, it's not at
Really
all like,
pushing out, girl. Like,
yeah, it's not at all a diss, or I feel like people are like bothering me because I'm a person, I don't care, so I will
right.
just ignore you. But I have a call on Monday with a girl, like literally, like my boss was like, she reached out to him, and he was just like, I feel like y'all like, she would be a good person to talk to, so I gave her your information. So it's stuff like that. He had a moment where some tugged at his heartstrings, and he passed it over to me, and so
Yeah.
it's also like reaching out to one person, maybe, you know they have somebody in mind to connect you with further, because he probably felt like this was a better fit than him, right? So I just think it does help to like reach out to everybody. I had a mentor program one time, and it was a white man, he connected me with a whole bunch of black people. Like, I don't know if that was on purpose, but like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
it's a big one for you. That's
it was
good.
great though, but like, it's just like sometimes you find, hey, this person, might work better for you. You guys might have a deeper connection. So it's just all about, like, again, shooting your shot, and then you don't know where that can land you. So yeah.
Yeah, I know that's right. How well do you take care of you plus your mental health with a job like this one? That came out so ugly, but you know what I meant.
No, it didn't come out ugly. Um, so how do I take care of myself? I mean, so I think that I'm a very scheduled person. So I like cook for myself every day. I will go on the Stairmaster treadmill for at least 40 minutes a day, work out whatever I need to do.
Yeah.
Um, I just like set those standards in my life, and almost like don't feel comfortable if I don't have those. So those are like my non-negotiables. I think I'm way better at like letting things, like my house right now, like I have dishes in the sink and it's bothering me, but
Yeah.
like I used to like have anxiety about it. So I'm just kind of like in spaces and areas that I used to be like really bad about it, I give myself grace and be
Yeah.
like, hey, like you can't do everything as long as you do your non-negotiables, which to me is like feeding my body with like the proper nutrients and like loving on myself in that way. I think that cooking is kind of like my labor of love for myself. So it's just a way for me to decompress, like get in there, be creative, and just like really just see everything that's going into my body to nourish my soul.
Yeah.
So I just think like it's little things like that. I love taking bubble baths, so that's my time to like get in the bath and like read. I love reading, just taking my mind to another place. So again, I just have my like routines and my non-negotiables. I like to go to the gym so I can listen to podcasts. I don't have a long
Mm,
commute, so I love to hear like people's opinions and like how they view things and stuff like that. I don't have a lot of time, so how can you knock out two things at once? So that's just like again my different ways of just like training my mind to do certain things. I think I could do a better job. I have all my PTO, I have all my sick days.
yeah.
So it's a grind, but also I love what I do. So I have my moments where I was stressed out. Like, of course, you have your moments where it's just a lot and it's hard. But again, I think having separation, not having everybody on Instagram, not having everybody have my personal phone number, it
Mm,
set me up into a way in which, like, when I get home, I'm not calling no coworker and be like, girl, you won't believe what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not indulged in what this person is doing or what that person is doing.
okay.
Um, I kind of like when I come home, I'm at home. There are moments, of course, where it's just like, oh, you gotta like hurry up and work or you have to do something. But I just make sure that like my life and just like who I'm around in the daily is like separate from what I'm seeing from 9 to 5. So I
Yeah.
think that's one way in which I take care of myself. I'm not engulfed into that place, like,
Yeah.
like in the most respectful way. Like, I'm not committed to being everyone's friend or having everyone know things about me. So I'm really able to, in my personal life, focus on that. I'm not
Yeah.
calling a coworker to gossip. I'm calling my mama. You know what I'm saying?
You know what
So
I'm saying? I can't.
yeah.
I hate getting overly involved in stuff like that. Like life is already exhausting enough, so I don't like to just dwell in that for real.
Yeah. I tell
So
people all the time, don't make what you do your personality. Like, I
yeah,
don't think that my job is my personality. And I think
yeah,
that's like what helps me. Like, I don't walk up to people and can't wait to tell them, "Oh my God, I do this." Like, it's not that deep to me. Um, that's always been me though. I just like I love sports and I think it's great, but like I don't think that I am better than anyone else.
right.
And what I do. And again, like I said, my favorite thing about the athletes, coaches, anything is like how faithful they are to God. So
Yeah,
it's not the chains they wear.
yeah. Facts. That's honorable, and I specifically like the excitement that surrounds it. I don't feel like excited doing anything else but being in the atmosphere of those type of events, settings. But hey, and I also like this part of it. I like talking. I like getting to know other women and getting to know the athletes like on personal levels. What's your life like? Who are you outside of this sport? Like who is Kourtney outside of, you know, working in sports? Who is this woman? Now you've been sharing stuff with us all night, but yeah, like who do you feel like you truly are then, if that's the case?
Yeah, I think that I am a person who loves community. So, as you know, like I love hosting, I love throwing events, I love bringing
All right.
people together. Like that is who I am. I think that I am hmm I think I'm a person that doesn't really care much about what people thinks about her.
Yeah.
I kind of just do my own thing,
Yeah.
which is like interesting, like being in a work environment where it's just like it's seen by so many, but going at home and just feeling like I don't care who sees it, you know?
Yeah.
I think that I don't know. I think I'm a lot of different things, but I think that they're all very unique. I wouldn't put me in a box. Like I don't think anyone can be like, Kourtney is like so and so. I think I'm like myself. I
Yeah,
am
you are.
myself. I am
You're
who I
you.
am, and I'm unapologetic about it. So, um, I think I'm the like sweetest, nicest, mean person that there is.
You definitely have a good balance of them all. Like the way y'all seeing her right here is almost exactly how she is in person because she's actually really funny, but our type of humor is not made for everybody.
Yeah,
So
it's very inappropriate. Yeah.
you can only do so
Yeah.
much on this podcast. So
Yeah.
yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna move us to this segment that I created. It's called I Might Have to Be Honest. I might
Okay.
have to be honest. Okay. So
Okay.
I'm gonna name a couple topics and you could just give us a few words, but be as honest as you can about those things. How do you feel about those things? Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start. Phoenix Suns.
Um,
Your mama say if you don't have nothing nice to say,
Orange.
orange. Love that. Kevin Durant.
I think he's cool.
Yeah. Okay. NABJ.
Am I not saying enough words?
It's cool. Like, well, okay. We're gonna go back to Kevin Durant. We're gonna
Okay.
we're gonna skip Phoenix Suns.
Okay.
All right. So, Kevin Durant.
I don't know him personally, but I think he's funny.
Okay. NABJ. Oh, National Association of Black Journalists. For those of you who don't know what that is.
I think like I would never purchase a membership again. I think what they did last year and how they handled it was not, but I don't personally feel like I got, like, looking back, I don't think I got much out of it,
Yeah, I feel
to
like
be honest.
it was beneficial as a college student for sure.
Yeah, at the time, but I also just think it's interesting. If you like it, you like it, but like the whole just like conference just seems like a boasting convention than anything.
It does. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I could agree. My only hope is that maybe one day I can go back on a panel if I ever do attend, but time will tell. Houston Texans.
I love it. It has been an honor and a dream to work for this organization. And that's
No,
not a political answer at all. I really think it's,
no. I trust me, I really believe this is what you would tell me outside of the podcast. Houston as a city. H-Town, hold it down.
I think it is such a unique and cool city.
Mm,
I think like I'm just like in this weird age and space. Like I'm single and I'm 27, so that means like you need to party, but I'm kind of like past that. So it's like
yeah,
weird. Like I think it has great food, and I think that like our people sometimes they only look at it as like a party place or anything, but I think it has like some really cool stuff and some gems. Um,
never go home on a Sunday. I'm from East
yes.
Valley.
Yeah. So I think it's a very cool city outside of partying. I think
Yeah,
people should stop moving here for the wrong reasons. It is
yeah.
not a friendly city, so they get here and they look sick and dumb. The traffic it is what it is. The roads are horrible. But I just feel like it's such like it's one of those cities that still has culture. A lot of cities don't have culture. Like it has been truly gentrified out. Like Houston still has that, and which is like super cool. I think
Mm,
coming back to it and working for such a staple of the city has made me fall in love with it in a different way, like really learning the history. I think like it's just one of those cities you should learn its history, you should get involved, and I think it's just looked at in not a dimension that it should be. It's very looked at like a party place, a place for you to escape, but it's just like this is home, and it's really cool once you like switch up your perspective of it. So I love it. I can see myself here, but sometimes with this weather, I'll be like, oof.
mm.
Um,
That's a deal breaker for me. Sorry. It's too hot in Houston. And that's why I left. No, I'm just kidding.
you ain't wrong.
All right. Outside culture. Outside culture.
What does that mean?
Like being outside, going out Sunday,
Oh,
Monday.
girl, I I thought of two different things, and neither one was that. I thought you meant like dating outside your culture,
Oh
and
no.
then how do
Look,
I
I'm
feel
all
about
for that.
outside cultures? Oh
Yeah.
no, being outside, um, like I get it, but I just think I don't particularly love it anymore. I think there was a point where I did like being outside, but like I try to like tell myself like go outside, like you're single and stuff like that. Like the people you meet there is like, ugh.
Something
First,
about this frontal lobe fully developing has me feeling like I would be fine if I didn't go to a club ever again. And am I tripping?
yeah.
I
But
feel
I'm
like
just like, where do you meet people? Because it's just
that's
like when I go to the grocery store, I know people be like, "Oh, you might meet them at the grocery store." I am going in there to get that
a
dang
shot.
on eggs and getting the freak out. Like I am not wandering around the aisles to where somebody even I don't even probably look approachable.
I know.
So
And it's like, where else do you meet people? Because I refuse to meet people on social media. I
yeah,
I'm not doing
I'm not
that.
gonna say I refuse, but because I have met like two exes off of there.
Oh wow.
But what I will say, yes. What I will say though is I when I go outside and I meet someone and they don't even live in Houston, I'm just like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's almost like a waste of time.
Why do you need my social media? Like, what are we doing? I will not do a dating app though.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not there yet. So, yeah.
And so my
hmm
last word, marriage.
I truly think that is like the ultimate goal for me in my life. I think that like, of course, I'm career driven, right? But like, I'm not as career driven as I am family driven. So I would
Facts.
love to find my partner and create a beautiful family.
Mhm.
Even if I had to give up like career, this or that, I think I would do that for family.
Oh, I love
So
it.
I think that's my ultimate goal. I would love it. Uh, hopefully, man, hopefully everybody on this podcast prays for me because, yeah, we don't got no prospects, nothing.
I feel you on that. I feel you on that, but that's for another day. That's the realest thing you could have said. But yeah, I have loved having somebody that's really near and dear to my heart on this podcast. I'm initiating her in, even though she's been initiated. She is a official H Town hottie, and this is the imaginary plaque.
Thank you. Thank you. That is like let me tell you why. I don't even know why you meant what you said, but I'm just gonna take it. I just feel like you saying an H Town hottie. There are so many beautiful women in Houston, so I will take that.
Yeah, yeah, you official. Like you've been here. You got a whole village in Houston, so it's like, shoot, you know more people in Houston than I do at this point.
Oh
And I
my
went to school
god.
there. Hey, y'all better get at my girl or don't get at her because y'all know she don't. Yeah. But no, for real. If you ever on LinkedIn, connect with her. I'm glad that you were my second guest. I appreciate it. But that's all I have for y'all. But yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so proud of you. And again, like we are friends in real life. Like, so I'm just so thankful and I'm so happy. I know you've talked about this for a long time. So it's really cool that, I'm seeing it and I'm a guest. I'm honored. I really am honored that I'm a guest because I don't feel like I'm the coolest person. So thank you
No,
for
you
making
the
me
coolest
feel
person to me. So,
I
like,
appreciate
the fact that you got out here and did this with me is a big deal because I put on my best me for this show. However, I am still kind of like introverted when it comes to putting myself out there. These
it. Like the other day in an email, I called this lady Kelly. I don't know why I called her Kelly. There was no Kelly on the thread. I don't
mm,
know anyone named Kelly. And it was just like a funny moment, but it was a moment of just like being human. Like everyone thinks like you have all the answers and you can do anything. Like, I may be really good at my job, but like I fuck up sometimes. And
Yeah.
like I was just laughing at it with my boss because he caught it. I didn't even realize it. So I just think like being nervous and like fucking up are such human moments. And like when you just take them and run with them and just know like no matter how, good you're doing, no matter how perfect you try to make things, be like it's just moments that you have, like just
Yeah.
laugh at it but also cherish it.
You're right. I should like live more, live in the moment and stop being so nervous. Like I do it ain't even the nervous you would think it is. It's more like anxious, but I have to stop letting like anxiety get the best of me. So when I stepped out my comfort zone to make this show, I said, "Hey, I'm gonna just do it." So I don't care who listens. I don't care who doesn't like it. I don't care who has a critique. I'm gonna just do it, and I'm gonna do it until I ain't gotta freaking clock in at a job no more.
I know.
I don't know, but yeah, I totally appreciate you taking out the time.
Of
I love,
course, anytime. I love you too, and
and
yeah.
I'm a